I really didn't expect gaming to be such a big part of my life when I joined the Navy.
Meet David, a leading air engineer technician at Royal Navy Air Station Culdrose and captain of the Royal Navy's F1 esports team. What's it like to be part of a military squadron and a gaming squad? We spent the day with David to find out.
I work on Merlin Mark II helicopters at A20 Naval Air Squadron. Not only do I do engineering of servicing, maintaining and providing operational capability for what we can do, I also guide and train younger, inexperienced people on how to do their job properly. On a standard working day, I will tend to work at 0800 in the morning. We will get a brief on what needs to be achieved that day, whether it be flying, a maintenance day, if it just needs little bits and bobs doing. If it's a flying day, we will go in, we will service and maintain and do any corrective maintenance that we need to do. So it could be as little as just greasing some nipples on the swash plate, or it could be as extensive as replacing an undercarriage. We do what we call preventative maintenance, which is doing hourly or daily based tasks. So, for example, what I'm doing here is lubing up our tail servo lube. It prevents components from breaking down before they reach an end of life by maintaining them regularly, as opposed to waiting until they fail. Ruby, can I have your hand? Hi. So there's quite a few skills that overlap between gaming and engineering in my everyday life. If you drop a tool, for example, my reaction time might be that little bit quicker than someone else's because I'm used to that quick reaction speed. For hand-to-eye coordination, for when I'm doing things in intricate places or tight spaces, and even down to like social skills. All the streaming that I've done over the years and all the times that I've played games online with people, interacting with people that I don't know, it's given me that confidence to not be afraid to speak to people and get them to do what they need to do to be safe and carry out their job. And we'll have lunch for about an hour, try and de-stress from whatever's gone on in the morning. I've been part of the Navy esports team for 3 years now, since it first opened. We've only been a recognised sport for the past year. There's about 800 approximate people that are part of the Royal Navy esports team at the moment, but that number is growing all the time. Myself and a petty officer that I work with, we are currently setting up an esports suite. It used to be our ocean bar, but we're converting that now into a temporary space before we get our permanent space. That's to try and promote people to not only play games in their room, but to get together in a communal space and go and play on flight sims, racing sims, Call of Duty, LAN pies. There's many things that we want to implement into this place to try and promote esports within not just Culdrose, but the Navy. We run out our second half of the day up till 5 p.m. We could be dragging aircraft out onto the line to get ready to go flying. It could be doing ground runs where it just sits on the deck and does tests. Before I joined the Navy, I was a FedEx driver for 6 years and it was good, but they were long hours, long days, and I decided I don't want to be 40 years old and still driving and delivering parcels. That's just not for me. I always wanted to join the Navy because my dad was in the Navy. He was a air crewman. I wanted to follow in those footsteps and pass them and join the Navy myself. I wish I'd done it sooner now that I'm in. However, I wouldn't change a thing from the people that I've met. My working day sort of ends at 5 p.m. and I come home. We'll make some food, some dinner, and then I tend to settle down in this room and we will sit there and we'll stream and we'll play games. I compete in inter-service championships. At the moment, we've got one championship that's going on just between the Navy and the RAF. And then I'm also planning with the service leads from the Army and the RAF, the inter-services tri-service championships. This is my racing sim setup that I use for my Formula 1 esports championships. I love having this thing and I spend a lot of my life and evenings sat in this thing racing competitively and just for fun on a night where I just want to chill out and have some fun with it. The rigs that we're going to implement into the esports centre inside Culdrose is going to have 4 rigs that sit side by side with each other so people can race on this kind of level of tech without having to pay out the money themselves. They get to enjoy the same thing I do without having to put the hand in the pocket. But overall, I love this thing, much to my partner's dismay. Being the Navy's F1 esports captain brings me quite a lot of pride. Being able to bring that team of people together to be able to perform and represent the Navy in the right way and show that we can do it is something to be massively proud of. I really didn't expect gaming to be such a big part of my life when I joined the Navy. It was a very old school type of Navy. It's become more and more enjoyable and acceptable to be able to play games in the Navy and not feel excluded by doing so. I feel like I'm not only giving something back, but getting something back from the Navy as well. It feels like it works both ways.
To find out more about a career in the Royal Navy, search Royal Navy Role Finder. And for all things gaming, stick with IGN.